All right. I'm going to try to make this short because I got some stuff with family relatively soon, but uh my one of my two calls a week with family elicited yet another topic to discuss. Um I was talking with my father who was on his high school's track and cross country teams. Yes, I come from a family of runners. You might be shocked. Um, but basically, the general thing that came from the discussion tonight was we were talking about food because he was talking about doing some volunteer stuff at his church and the fact that it's been hot lately. So, we got to talking about electrolytes, and he said that, like, he has a couple Gatorades a day. And I'm like, and some fruit juices. And I'm like, that's not enough electrolytes. You're going to feel like shit. And so I started to talk to him about what I use, which is not sponsoring this video, but I will say BioSteel. And it basically has like a fuck ton of electrolytes and a bunch of other things. Hit me up, BioSteel. Want to sponsor a conspiracy theorist? Anyway, the general vibe that I got was that he um, didn't get enough electrolytes and wasn't getting enough nutrition, and that's probably why he felt bad afterward. So we got to talking about, like, different balances for different bodies and shit. Like things that are obvious to me because not only was I raised recently, but like I also had the benefit of a bunch of alternative education post high school, and I was relatively receptive to it, which is why I'm a libertarian anarchist. And in this particular uh, subject, what came up was the food pyramid, because I was like, yeah, you guys had like the food pyramid back then, right? Because that's awful. The food pyramid is just fucking awful, right? It's the USDA basically saying this is what you need, and it is so fucking not what you need. Um, I'll probably make a more complex rant on this at some point, but I hate the food pyramid. I really do. And it's always looked like old enough, like ancient enough, that I figured that it must be from like the 70s or something, because it looks ancient. It doesn't look modern at all. Sometimes though I forget how uh, detached the government is from modern cultures, because my dad was like, yeah, we didn't even have that back when I was a kid, and I was like, really? I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him, and I fucking Googled it, and what do you know? It wasn't around when he was a kid, and apparently, the food pyramid uh started in 1992. I looked this up and on Google. Uh, well, in the USDA's sense, uh, I looked it up on Google, and it delivered the wiki results that that said that it was introduced in 1992. The 1992 pyramid, introduced by the United States Department of Agriculture, was called the Food Guide Pyramid, or Eating Right Pyramid. It was updated in 2005 to My Pyramid, and then it was replaced by My Plate in 2011. Oh, man. I hate the food pyramid. I really fucking hate the food pyramid. It is trash. And let me tell you why. Um, Bread, cereal, rice, and pasta are at the bottom. They want you to eat that much grain. And the things that they show on the original food pyramid are all fucking white ass processed grains. They want you to eat that much white ass processed grain. That's really bad for you. It's really fucking bad for you. Don't do that. Don't eat that much processed fucking grain in your diet. And wouldn't you know it, it's below fruits and vegetables. We've got like fucking potatoes, cabbage, broccoli, carrots, tomatoes, bananas, apples, oranges, grapes. We've got those in lower quantities than fucking bread, cereal, rice, and pasta. How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? They want you to eat more processed bread than they do a carrot or a broccoli or something actually nutritionally complex. They want you to fucking trough gorge yourself on bullshit fucking grains. And then, in smaller quantities, you've got milk, yogurt, and cheese group. Let's make sure we make the dairy farmers happy. Meat, poultry, fish, dry beans, eggs, and nuts group. Also the same tiers. And then, in a triangle which is like dimensionally around the same size as the previous two groups, we have fats, oils, and sweets. And the US government wonders why people are unhealthy. At least they publicly wonder that. In private, they fucking know. They know that the lifestyles that they've been encouraging for decades are fucking bullshit. They know how inflammatory this level of grains and carbs is on people. They know how stress-inducing it is to have this diet. They know that it increases your LDLs and puts fat in your fucking tissues. They know all of this. They know all of this. They've known all of this. But I thought that they'd been detached since the 70s, because this chart kind of looks like it might have been made in the fucking 70s. But no, they were this stupid 3 decades ago. About 3 decades ago. I'm almost 3 decades old. I'm fucking senior citizen status now. They were this fucking stupid 3 decades ago. I'm every day I find a new reason to hate them more. Every day I find a new reason to hate the government more. Every fucking day. Because I thought that this information was just old and outdated and that I was raised on this old and outdated information. But no, I was raised on the cutting edge of bullshit. It's exhausting. Like I've said so many other times, it's fucking exhausting. Like, because I'm looking at this is trash. If anything, what you should do is you should lower the vegetable and fruit groups to the bottom. Then you should lower the milk, yogurt, and cheese group and the meat, poultry, fish, dry beans, eggs, and nuts group to the second level. Then bread, cereal, rice, pasta group should be like second to last. And then the third one, sugars shouldn't be in there. You shouldn't be adding sugar to your diet at what appears to be about a fucking 7th of the goddamn chart. You shouldn't be doing that. That's just bad for you. It's going to give you diabetes, and it's going to give you fucking early onset Alzheimer's, and it's going to lower your bone density and make your teeth wear out faster. It's fucked. But this is how I was raised. I was raised to believe that if you follow this guide, that you'd be fine. Ultimately, there are weight loss guides that involve eating more fat. So what does that say about this diet? It says that this diet was made fundamentally by people who wanted you to be unhealthy. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why did they want you unhealthy? Well, because an unhealthy people are easier to control. And because ever since Fitter's New Deal, we've got suddenly a bunch of fucking grain subsidies, a bunch of fucking monopolistic crop manufacturers. Fucking agricultural business is now big agra because of fucking Fitter and other bullshit. And yes, I am intentionally saying Fitter because I think it's funny to use what might have been a diminutive nickname that he was referred to by when he was pretentious in school and still using this long-ass name. Imagine unironically calling yourself Franklin Delano Roosevelt and thinking anybody wasn't going to shove you in a locker. So, it's fucking insane to think that this is how I was raised. All the stuff that I know now, it makes all this stuff seem outright evil. I watched Morgan Spurlock and hated it initially. And I still hate it. But I hated it initially only because I could vaguely sense the bullshit. Then, fucking later on, people tell me, oh yeah, you know what? He actually cheated. He ate snacks. He still had his full-on fucking stupid diet, and he was eating meat in front of his vegan girlfriend, largely which pissed her off. Wow, wonder why. Because his vegan girlfriend was the one who basically revealed to the world that he fucking cheated. And this Super Size Me thing was basically just blaming McDonald's for fat people, which has no actual scientific proof. And the fact is that they could not order a Super Size Me. But instead of asking why people do this, he just got mad at McDonald's. Well, people do this because this is how they were fucking raised. If it surprises you that people reach for a big bag of fucking fries, if it surprises you that they do that when their meal already has a high-carb bun on it, or breading on the outside of the little meat blends that they fucking extrude out, if it surprises you that this is still done when you have a big-ass fucking drink in your hand also that has a fuck ton of carbs, don't be surprised, because this is how the fucking government raised them. The government raised them to be this way. To be passive little slaves. Fucking, what was the line? Happy little slaves from the minimum wage. From OTEP's fantastic song, Smash the Control Machine. This how they want you. They want you to be slaves. They want you to eat the grain. They want you to eat the bugs. Maybe that'll be the bottom of the food pyramid going forward. And that they don't care how it affects your health unless they can make it some sort of epidemic that they now need more government funding to make better. Well, they don't actually need more government funding. They don't need more government anything. Government is the problem and not the solution. And ultimately, in the end run of it, when you get this sort of mentality of government, please come and solve my problems for me, it all ends up with the government never actually solving anything and making everything so much worse. The obesity epidemic is heavy in schools. Why? Because schools follow the food pyramid, and they follow this idea that maybe we should give kids a bunch of fucking bread and pasta and whatever else is cheap so that we can extrude them into the workforce where they'll be addicted to all these sugary, carbohydrate-rich foods that are already supported by the corporations that fund basic schooling. Ooh, it's almost like this starts from an early age, just like every other piece of indoctrination. You know, and it didn't help when fucking My Pyramid came out. My Pyramid was just the food pyramid, but on its side. If that's not fucking atrocious, if that doesn't make you take a second look, then I don't know what will. Because let me be descriptive here. They still have grains as huge. They still have vegetables as not as huge for some reason. They still have fruits as less than vegetables for no reason. They have milk as its own fucking category. And they have meats and beans as this tiny little sliver off to the right. Beans are added to meat. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Beans should be over with vegetables, but woo, we gotta make them fucking along with meat for no reason. And no reason. It's not scientifically valid. What it is it's these people deciding that this is how it's going to be. And why? Because the corporations are happy. Because the government is happy. Because they get to keep doing what they do to us on a daily basis. Because the average person doesn't have the energy or the health to fight back. That's why. And that's the way I've seen this for a significant period of time. But now I find out that this is just new bullshit. That my dumb life that I've had for a very short period of time is all that this fucking pyramid has even been around for. My parents didn't have to endure this. My parents were told eat balanced while being force-fed breakfast. Fucking cereal and shit, pancakes and all this bullshit. But at least the government wasn't telling them this was healthy. Only fucking corporations and ads and shit. Well, we don't need any of that. We don't need the corporations. We don't need the governments. We don't need the ads. We don't need their fucking education. We don't need their thought control. We don't need any of this bullshit. But that doesn't stop them from printing these things. That doesn't stop them from making this now my plate. And it's all like, fucking segmented on a plate now. Ooh, you made a plate diagram instead of a pyramid diagram. Now, this thing which was a symbol of political power and abject servitude, this thing which was a symbol of fucking religious greatness and occult methodology, now that's no longer your symbol. Now you have a plate. Now we don't get the all-seeing eye at the top of a food pyramid. We just get the plate thing. We don't get any esoteric symbolism out of it. Because while they're stripping meaning, they might as well also strip the nutritional quality from your meals. Huh? It's just funny that the pyramid is what they chose. They chose a pyramid. Why would they choose a pyramid? If not to signify some sort of political power. If not to signify that this is the diet of those who might have built it and not those for whom it was built. Huh? Why do the elites get to elite, yeah, whatever, certain meals, certain high-class meals? Why do they get that and we're all stuck eating the bugs for the World Economic Forum and living in the pods and borrowing everything for the new normal where we'll own nothing and like it? Why is that the case for us and not for them? Well, because we were raised to be this way, and because from the ground up, they have chosen this life for us, and they have dictated our bullshit existences from square one. And that's why we need to take the power back. And it starts with a better diet. It starts with a diet that recognizes that maybe you shouldn't be eating like cattle and expect to be anything but. So anyway, I thought I'd go on my nice little mini rant today. It's actually short compared to what some of the other ones were. I'm going to get some games with my family that I just fucking had a long political conversation with again. But just think about the impact that you're having on your family. Think about the impact that you're having on your life. Think about if this diet is going to be conducive to you living as old as the elites do, with their adrenochrome lifestyles and their sagging ass, blood of 1,000 babies, George Soros fucking testicle, scrotum ass fucking bag of a face. Ask yourself if you're going to live that long eating the way that they want you to, or if you're going to die an early death because you plowed yourself into the grave eating like a cow. I won't go quietly into that night. I won't surrender my own diet. I won't surrender my power. I'm going to work out every single day except once a week, which is rest day. I'm going to, enrich my mind as much as possible. I'm going to eat as good a quality of food as possible. And I'm going to do all of this in spite of their instructions, because fuck their instructions. Their instructions are for slaves. And I am not a slave. I am a free man. Because I choose to be. because I won't let them stop me from being one. And I thought this was a good rip-roaring topic for an actually just 20-minute vlog. So with all that being said, feel free to like and subscribe and all that bullshit, and I will see you tomorrow when I'm less absolutely exhausted. Smash the fucking state and the pyramid.